Well, hi everybody. I'm John Redland. This is my review of NWA Powerrr episode 15, a supersized edition at 91 minutes. Don't worry, I'm not going to go nearly that long with this review, but this is the final stop before Hard Times on January 24th. And if you haven't ordered it, check out Fight TV. It's like $19.99. No, I'm not being paid to advertise this stuff. I just want this brand to succeed. I want other brands of wrestling to succeed. More opportunities for the wrestlers and for the fans to, enjoy variety. The wrestlers can earn a living with more companies around. The fans can enjoy the variety, enjoy, a great product. And this, pay-per-view is looking pretty goddamn solid. TV title tournament, women's title match with Thunder Rosa and Alison Kay, Aaron Stevens versus Scott Steiner, Aldis versus Flip Gordon. We've got a three-way NWA tag title match. It's looking really goddamn good. So anyway, 90 minutes of NWA Powerrr and pretty good stuff. I love the theme song. It's really goddamn entertaining. We have Joe Galli and Stu Band on commentary. Galli apparently saying he had a bout of laryngitis. He fought through it though. He did tag out on a couple things, so like do interview segments, and they brought somebody else in, Kyle Davis, a little bit later. And we have a Robert Gibson interview. It's hyped for the main event because we have Ricky Morton versus Nick Aldis for the 10 pounds of gold. Ricky Morton gained the challenge for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship nearly 34 years after facing Ric Flair at Great American Bash 86, on that tour. And we start off with Tasha Steelz versus Thunder Rosa into the Fire rematch. I love Thunder Rosa. Obviously, sure, met her, talked about how I met her before. Absolutely thrilled to see her on this stage. Was impressed with Tasha Steelz here. She got in some shots, but this was clearly a showcase for Thunder Rosa. She used a lot of good heel tactics with some good strikes and then hit that weird, spike driver. I don't really know what you call it. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. She was then asked about what are Melina's plans? What are Melina's thoughts? And Thunder Rosa says, well, you have to ask Melina what her plans are. And then Aldis, we have a video package on Aldis. He runs down Murray Skrull saying he will come to Free Enterprises, I believe. It's a Ring of Honor free shows. There's in Baltimore. Just get tickets at the Ring of Honor website, because I guess this is their way of bringing the fans back in and say, hey, we're going to put on a free show and we want to show you it's a new Ring of Honor. Murray Skrull helping run as one of, if not the head booker. Cool. Okay. He calls the NWA fans to action and says, hey, show up with your NWA colors. Let's show it the NWA brand. Take over Baltimore, take over anywhere. We then get Royce Isaacs with May Valentine. They're being interviewed, and Joe Galli mentions how Royce has been on a bit of a losing streak. And he says, well, maybe the reason is May Valentine. He says, well, look, just because we haven't slept together, which is just out of the goddamn blue that Royce said this. And Joe's like, what in the world are you talking about? And May says at one point, it's like, there's nothing wrong with being pure. Whatever. I mean, it was odd, but it was what it was. It was at least a way to add a little more dimension to Royce Isaacs' character. We then get Thomas Latimer versus Trevor Murdoch. It's a TV tournament qualifier, 6:05 time limit. Latimer attacks right off the bat, and for the next 2.5 minutes, he pretty much dominates, beating down Trevor Murdoch. Even hits a pop-up powerbomb, but nope, just 2. And Murdoch doesn't get in any offense. However, Latimer does end up hitting the turnbuckle and then gets rolled up. Murdoch uses the tights just a little bit, 1, 2, 3, and Trevor Murdoch, gets in there. So he's in the tournament. Awesome, cool. That's exactly what they should have been doing, is having Murdoch in there, because Latimer isn't going to need to be there because he's going to be, teaming with Royce Isaacs as the wild card, obviously against Rock and Roll Express and James Storm and Eli Drake for the NWA Tag Team Championships. It's going to be pretty interesting to see that one. And then we get a Melina and Alison Kay package. I mean, I'm happy for Alison Kay. Melina, I'm not the biggest fan of Melina. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. They then, when we come back, meet face to face. And they blanked out this word, but Alison Kay is trying to cut Melina off. Melina was like, no, you just sit there and you fucking listen. And they blanked out, of course, the word listen. I mean, the word swear and the word kidding. No, they blanked out fucking. And she gives Kay a match against Marty Bell and says, hey, how about this? Actually, you got to beat Marty Bell to face Thunder Rosa at the pay-per-view for your championship. Bit odd. Don't quite get exactly why they did it that way, but it was Alison Kay versus Marty Bell, a no DQ match. Former best friends facing off, some good stuff. We get, going outside. Marty Bell does take over for a bit, gets a chair from just behind the curtain. Pay no attention to the chair behind the curtain, and suddenly starts attacking Alison Kay. At one point, puts Alison Kay's head through part of the chair, starts pulling her hair and everything. I think I saw that in the movie once. Moving on. This was actually pretty good stuff. Marty Bell did get in some shots. Eventually, Alison Kay did take over, got the chair in the ring. Started to show some, started to show a bit of, leniency because Marty Bell's bagging off. But then she throws the chair away. Marty tries to go for a chair. Alison Kay stops her. And I don't exactly know what you call this. I'm just going to call it the K Crusher because she has slammed Marty into the chair. 1, 2, 3. I really don't know what the fuck you call it. So I'm just going to call it the K Crusher, like I said. And, Alison Kay wins. So, okay, that's what we're getting. We're getting Alison Kay versus Thunder Rosa. Very excited. That might be potentially the match of the night because these two women really can go. And I think if you give them at least 50, if you give them 12 to 15 minutes, they could tell a really good goddamn story. I don't know if they're going to make this pay-per-view longer than 3 hours, even with the TV tournament, unless they decide to just make them 6 minutes and 5 seconds each match, which I think is a bit risky, but we'll see. We get a Nick Aldis and Ricky Morton package just to hype up the main event. And then we get a Spiritual Advisor's Guide to Self-Hypnosis. I don't know what the fuck. I don't have a clue. We then get the Pope, D'Angelo De Niro, and Eddie Kingston. Pope's talking about Pope can push you. Pope can, make you do some big things, can, push you to your best. And even Eddie Kingston admitted that the last week's match where he tagged with Homicide shouldn't have happened because Homicide wasn't ready to come back. And then we get Kyle Davis joining commentary briefly. We get an Aaron Stevens karate demonstration. Karate, actually. It was actually Aaron Stevens just, having the question mark work with a couple guys that were in masks. And look, I get what they were trying to do. This was just building to it was going to build to Aaron Stevens having an opponent, potentially, or like just, building a little bit more of a feud that Aaron Stevens has had going on TV for a bit. The problem is this went on a bit too long. It was funny at first, and it kept going, and it kept going, and it kept going. I understand what they were trying to do. I just didn't really care for it. It was good for what it was, but this was the low point of the show. I understand that it was meant to be comedy, meant to be a cool down, but you can only do these kind of segments for so long before it gets a little bit boring. So, it was the one funny line though, where the question mark was getting cheered and everything as he was coming down to the ring, and Aaron Stevens says, "Do not call him a mark." That was pretty funny. Of course, I forget what it was. He was going to try this chop. He was going to try the Mongrovian chop on a piece of wood, and what was it? I think it was like at one point, Stu Bennett said the power of the fingertips, and excuse me while I laugh like the immature individual that I am. One of these guys under the mask, though, it's like he's holding the board and everything. Aaron Stevens gets in. I'm ready. He tries for this. He tries to do the chop thing, and suddenly somebody one of the guys hits him with the board. Well, what the hell? It turns out to be Ricky Starks under the mask. Okay, we get this, and then, which was some pretty good stuff. That was pretty good, and it's a nice way to build Aaron Stevens and Ricky Starks facing off, probably for the championship, though. Aaron Stevens versus Scott Steiner. I'm kind of wondering if Scott Steiner's maybe if Scott Steiner's just going to win the championship, and we're just going to end that already. I don't know. It's probably going to end by DQ, and Stevens will retain. This was a low point. Not bad, but not great. We didn't get a last chance gauntlet for a TV title tournament slot. Zane Dawson, because he had the busted hand, was not able to compete. He got removed. So we start off with Caleb Conley and C.W. Anderson to start. C.W. Anderson lasting almost till the end. Did pretty goddamn well for a veteran of at least 20 years. I mean, maybe longer, right? I know that he was wrestling on ECW pay-per-views in 1999 and 2000, so he's been doing this for quite a while. We then get Josephus in. His suspension is lifted, and he's gone from the ring already. Colt Cabana gets in. We get some more action there. We get Dave Dawson, the lone Dawson that's left, that isn't injured. He does some power moves and stuff like that. We then get Aaron Stevens gets in, but he's still selling from getting hit with the board and everything, and he hides under the ring. And then Zicky Dice comes out and cuts a promo because he's already in the tournament. So he's like, well, I don't need to be out here. I don't know why he was. Maybe just a stall for time. Saul Renaro, resident jobber, gets in. He hit some good moves, but then at one point tries for a springboard, hurts his knee. I hope that he is okay. I know these were taped weeks ago. I hope that he is okay, though. Caleb hits a moonsault on Dave, and everybody covers him 1, 2, 3. And then Ken Anderson gets in, and he just mic checks everybody. I think he mic checked half the crowd at one point. Thankfully, he didn't. Mic check to pin Sal, and then pins Caleb. Superman pins C.W. Anderson. It's down to Ken and Colt. Or is it? Aaron Stevens gets in. The question mark gets in because he's there. He's there and distracting, and Aaron Stevens gets in. Question mark tries for the Mongrovian chop, tries to double chop, and ends up paralyzing Aaron Stevens, who does a great sell. He just gets against the ropes and just bounces and just picture perfect. One of the best sells I've seen in a number of years, like on any show. Great goddamn sell. He did such a good job with this and just kept doing this, and then eventually fell, and then he got chucked out of the ring. And then it's down to Colt and Ken, and they do a handshake, but nope, then all of a sudden, roll up by Ken Anderson, 1, 2, 3, holds the tights. Oh, well, holy crap. We're getting Ken Anderson in the tournament, but hey, you know what? It's a chance to be the TV champion. You do what you can. You throw friendship out the window. So that's exactly what Ken Anderson did here, because they had a handshake, and then nope, he hit a gut shot, hit a mic check, and then hit a mic check later into the post. Which, good God, okay, that friendship's over, so we're obviously getting that match. Ken Anderson may win the TV championship, and then Colt may go after it. I mean, I'm not really sure. But good way to build it, and this is at least nice because it gives Ken something to do. I think it was pretty obvious that Ken wasn't going to be, much of anything other than, just a go-over guy, unless they switched him heel, and they did. They were bound to switch him heel, and it was good that they did. James Storm and Eli Drake talking about the main event, and this was fun. It was good. They seem to be having a whole lot of fun with this. I enjoyed this promo. Breaking news with Joe Galli. Matt Cross is in the TV title tournament. He's one of the the empty spots, that was going to just be picked at random. I met Matt Cross a couple times. Guy's great. Guy's an incredible athlete, 20-plus year veteran. He's great to watch in the ring. If you haven't had a chance to watch Matt Cross live, please do so. He's actually going to be at the, I believe he's going to be at the indie show. I'm going to be at not this Friday, but next Friday. It's going to be pretty damn interesting to see. But anyway, so he's there. And then Dan Maff from Ring of Honor. I'm not familiar with him, but he did a fired up promo. I'm interested to see what he can do. So it is Matt Cross versus Ricky Starks and Dan Maff versus Zicky Dice. So it's going to be pretty interesting. We then get a Flip Gordon piece. I'm facing Aldis at the pay-per-view. Never heard Flip Gordon cut a promo. Probably don't need to hear one again. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. We then get everybody talking about, Joe Galli ran down more of the card and stuff like that I mentioned before. Joe Galli, Stu Bennett, and Billy Corgan. They call him Willie Patrick Corgan. He's Billy Corgan because I'm a Smashing Pumpkins fan. They're on commentary. Nick Aldis versus Ricky Morton, NWA title match. And suddenly, Stu says, I'm afraid I've got some breaking news. All seconds must leave, according to Corgan. All seconds must leave. One-on-one, everything. This was a good match. It was great to see Ricky Morton, obviously, at this stage of his career. Can't have super long matches, even though he can pace himself pretty well. And it's amazing he can do anything in the ring, given the amount of abuse that him and Robert have put their bodies through over the years. This is a nice little match. Vet versus youth. Aldis is obviously a bit of a veteran, as far as the amount of years he's been in wrestling, but nowhere near what Ricky is. But it was good stuff. Aldis doing some great heel work. Morton coming back with some of that old man strength, with just that old cunning mentality of outsmarting Aldis at every turn. Aldis does attack the back and, knocks him in the face, attack the throat a little bit. And after a few near falls, we get a figure 4 by Ricky Morton. And oh crap, we're suddenly going to get it. But nope. He even hit that Hurricanrana into a pin. Nope, that didn't quite work. And then small package by Ricky. Nope, small package by Aldis. 1, 2, holds the tights 3. And we get that, and that's the end of that. And then suddenly the video gets all distorted and everything. They really don't focus too much on Ricky Morton not having another chance at the championship, or, this being his only chance. Probably his only chance, I'm guessing. And Villain Enterprises is going to be at hard times. Marty Scurll's like, we'll see you there. So, pretty interesting. Really good build for the pay-per-view. I enjoy it. Despite the karate demonstration, this was a very good go-home show for hard times. So, I'm going to say B. For as far as that, it was well done. Had the karate demonstration not gone as long as it did, I probably would have even given this a B+, but I gotta be fair. There's things I don't like, gotta downgrade a bit. However, excited for the whole goddamn card. Once again, if you guys are still watching, all two of you, I kid. The Hard Times review will be up later Friday night, early Saturday morning, as I'm going to be reviewing other stuff and doing a couple other videos that night while the thing's going on. But I already got a pre-order, and I'll see just how great it is. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.